What do you mean? Please and thank you.
So this is a response from Beck to Jody's questions. And this one I find it very telling because I do believe Beck, she is telling the truth because there's so many other things she could have lied about in this questionnaire, but she didn't. She kept her integrity. So anyways, here we go.
So let's get started.
Hey, hi, how are ya? I think I could pull that off more if I had pink hair and looked like Voldemort. Never mind. So,
oh my god, I'm sorry. Side note. In case you haven't watched me Cannon video about how Jeffree Star addressed his little shenanigans and non-apology video, that's where that picture came from. Classic. Give it a watch. Anyways, let's continue.
So the first question is from someone named Raven Elise, and I actually wonder this as well. Amber Lynn is immobile, or close to immobile, during the time that you spent with her during your season. Raven and I would like to know, what does Amber Lynn do with all of her time?
This is something that you guys probably already know about her, but it depends on what she's into in the moment. Like, it could be reading and being on her computer for hours upon hours at a time. She would have so many tabs open, and it would just be like YouTube, shopping. She would have her personal journal that she would write in open. I don't know. Sometimes I didn't even know because I didn't even really see a lot of her computer or her phone. She was also on her phone, but I was aware of the many different tabs that she was on, because another thing with Amber was no matter what she was doing or what we were doing, she could only handle it for so long, and then she would have to switch to something else. So if we were watching a movie or a TV show or something, we could only watch so much of it, and then she would pause it, and we'd have to do something else for a little while before we come back to it. She also was really into puzzles and Legos and journaling, and one thing that took up a lot of time was this game that she would force me to play called Choosy, where she would take a bunch of like thousands of stickers, like she bought bulk stickers, and had me pick between them all the way down until I picked one single sticker to be the best sticker of all. And
okay, this is giving psychotic. Say what now? Ambi, my dear, you don't have BPD, you don't have CPD, whatever, PTSD, you don't have any of those shit. Stop using that as a shield. What you need, honey, is therapy. Inpatient and therapy. But however, you guys, I do believe that she does have ASMR, because remember she claimed she has ASMR? I think she does have that one. That's the one thing I would give her. She has ASMR.
And another thing that would take up a lot of time is she would set a timer for 45 minutes to an hour usually. And she would have me sit behind her and pretend to pick lint off of her back because she liked the way it felt and sounded because of ASMR.
See, what did I tell you? She had ASMR. And I am sorry, shit is starting to sound like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Say what now? You did what for how long? Oh my god.
And she would have me do this for so long that my arms and stuff would hurt. And whenever I would want to stop, she would sigh and just be like, well, I'm going to pause the timer. So she would pause the timer for my little break, and then I'd have to immediately go back to it, and she would unpause the timer again. Sometimes I would catch her not unpausing the timer because she would want me to do it for longer.
Next up, we have a question from Gracie. I don't know if that's a reference to a specific animal, but Gracie asked this question. Gracie wants to know, when did the relationship between you and Amber Lynn go from bad to worse? I know that people tend to put on their best face when they first get into relationships and slowly leak out the toxicity as they get along. So at what point did you realize, oh God, I'm in too deep, or oh God, the honeymoon phase has definitely worn off?
In the beginning, things were all right, but there were some signs of her being controlling.
I'm sorry, you guys, before we continue this, the one thing I don't understand, like, to me, it seems like the one thing that would have led to believe that something weren't up to par, like Beck had insinuated before, was when she first went to MB's apartment and there was an empty room, it was like a bedroom, and there was cat poop everywhere, even on the bed. I would think that would have been my hello, run fast as we can. But anyways, just listen.
Then it got worse whenever we moved in together, and then even worse whenever I quit my job and started taking care of her and quote unquote working for her full time. So I feel like that was when I definitely felt like I was too deep in to leave.
Princessa would like to know, were there ever times during when you were in renal failure that you felt unsafe to drive, whether it be to how you felt from your condition or from being heavily medicated, that Amber Lynn sort of pitched a bitch and demanded that you go get her fast food, went to Walmart, run her errands? Were there ever times where you felt this is not a good idea, but if I don't do it, it will unleash the beast, so I better do it?
As you guys know, at that time, I was heavily medicated and I should not have been on the road. And I put myself in danger and other people in danger. And I wish I could go back and tell myself it wasn't worth it to take those risks.
And I am glad that Beck recognizes this. She seems to be a considerate person, well put together person than, Wednesday Adams and my Canadian bacon, but I am glad that she recognizes this. Good for you, Beck.
I'm aware that I should not have been on the road during that time. But from what I remember, I didn't really feel like I was making a conscious decision. I just knew that I felt bad, but I wasn't sure what was causing it at the time. I was afraid to leave, but I was being pressured to take care of others, specifically Amber's needs. Even though I know now that I had a choice, at the time I felt like I didn't, and I will always regret that.
Thank God she finally said that, because this has always been my inner contention. Like, dude, you could have left. You could have left. But I guess it's easier to say because we're not in that situation, but I'm glad she addressed it.
Peyton Ford asks, how long was the mattress in the living room where you guys lived? And whose idea was it to put a mattress arbitrarily in the middle of a living room for Amber Lynn to loiter on?
It was over a period of, I want to say, about 2 years. Whenever she would want to hang out in the living room, I would have to drag the mattress out. And when we were done hanging out, I would have to drag it back into the spare bedroom. It wasn't the bed that we slept on. It was my bed from before we were together, and it stayed in the spare bedroom. So it didn't stay in there all the time, but I did drag it back and forth for many days over the course of a few years. But it was all Amber's idea, and it was because she would get uncomfortable sitting on the couch because her ankles would swell, and it would just be more comfortable for her to be able to stretch her legs out. And there were also other reasons that I won't disclose.
Okay, Beck, you don't have to do that. We all remember that infamous clip of Amber. She was with Destiny when they worked at a nursing home where she sat down and broke the couch. It was that. She was afraid of breaking the furniture. And then the other part of that Beck does not want to address is because Amber was free, bleeding everywhere instead of going to a gynecologist. And I do believe Ricky and Eric told her either go to a gynecologist or you have to find somewhere else to sit because, yeah, we're not having that in the furniture. Beck has been kind, but I honestly do believe that's what prompted the whole mattress on the floor situation.
Orion Mars asks, was there ever a point during your relationship with Amber Lynn when you guys were still going on double dates with Destiny and Dana that Destiny kind of tried to give you hints or kind of suggest to you that being in a relationship with Amber wasn't a good idea, or say something along the lines of encouraging you to get away from Amber?
No, she never really nudged me or tried to get me to do that or anything, but there were plenty of times where she would look at me and be like, I don't know how you put up with her. And they would also bicker and argue a lot when they would be around each other. It was just how their dynamic was too.
And I'm sorry, I think Amber did that because she knew that was the only way she would get Destiny's attention. Because remember, Destiny, after she dumped MB, she moved on within 2 days. So I think that was Amber's way of getting her attention.
So there's a person that typically comes onto social media and creates a little bit of an uproar every so often by the name of Annie Doran. Would you mind discussing a little bit who Annie Doran is, your relation to Annie Doran, and any of the claims that Annie Doran has made that you are aware of?
So this is a question that I've wanted to address for a while, but I wasn't sure how to approach it. I do see her comments here and there, and it does make me uncomfortable to see her still talking about my mom. So Anne got a hold of my mom because my mom was selling wreaths that she made, and she asked Amber to advertise them on YouTube, and she did. So Anne got a hold of my mom and bought a wreath from her, and she just continued to talk to my mom after that as if she wanted to be friends with her. And my mom thought she really wanted to be friends, but the more she talked to her, the more my mom realized that Anne was only in for it for Amber. She was obsessed with Amber and she wanted to know everything about Amber. And because my mom and Amber weren't getting along at that point, my mom did say some things to Anne about Amber, which...
Damn, this is wild. This is wild. So Annie only befriended Beck's mom because she wanted to get to Amber, a person she's never met on the interwebs. What? This is cuckoo. This is absolutely cuckoo. Annie? Oh, dear Lord. Okay, let's continue. This is insane.
You guys had seen in that screenshot with those voice notes. But there were times that she would say negative things about me to my mom, and it felt like she was trying to come between me and my mom. And I don't...
So, damn. So, Annie is an older version of Amby. Yo, this shit is crazy. This is absolutely insane. So not only was Amby trying to divide and conquer with Beck and her mother, and then you have this random woman who is trying to play the divide and conquer between Beck and her mother. This is wild.
Things that were brought up on YouTube. I mean, there were random things that were just blatant lies. She lied a lot. And as for the things that I know she has said, the story about her being stuck in the shower and the fire department having to be called didn't happen. I don't know where she would have gotten that story. I know my mom definitely didn't say that. And as for Amber weighing 700 pounds, that also isn't true that I know of. The most that I was aware of her weighing was like 570 or 80 something. And after that, she just stopped weighing herself around me. So I really have no idea how much she ended up weighing, but I don't think it was 700 pounds, and I don't know where she would have got that information from.
Yeah, that is absolutely insane. I do think at one point Amber was close to 700 pounds. No shade, no lie, Amber. I do think you did become that close to that 700 marker, which is why you stopped publicizing your weight, per se. But I'm so baffled about this Annie lady. This is wow. Okay, I'm like speechless right now, you guys. I'm speechless.
Was there ever a single lie that stuck out to you more than any of the others? Raven Elise would like to know. Was there anything that Amberlynn told her audience where you just thought to yourself, wow, I cannot believe that she is that confident lying about that?
Yeah, there were times whenever she would show in a what I ate in a day video, she wouldn't exactly show everything that she ate. She would just show you guys what she thought was acceptable for you guys to see, and then just not even talk about the other things that she would eat. So I was just always shocked that she really thought people would believe that. And I think you guys already know this, but there were many days that she would film lots of videos in one day, and she would switch her outfits to make it more convincing that it was different days. And she would also ask me to change my outfits to make it more convincing for those videos.
Yeah, Beck, thank you for that. We already know that. We already knew that. Which is why MP is still upset that nobody believes her, that all these things happen in different days. She still gets pissed off about that when she gets called out about the fact like, girl, all this shit was filmed in one day. Yeah. We all know that.
Aisha asks if there were ever times where you would deliberately take longer during the errands that Amberlynn would send you on just so that you could have more time away from her.
Absolutely, yes, I would. I did it every single time, every chance I got. That's also what I would do in the bathroom a lot. I would pretend to be using the bathroom for a long time, but I would really just be in there having my peace.
So we have all been clued in on what really happened with Amberlynn and the wiping situation. It was not just solely something that took place after her hysterectomy. There was a lot of upkeep on your end in terms of Amberlynn's personal hygiene. What was Ricky and Eric's involvement in that, if anything? Did Eric and Ricky ever help wash? Did they ever help do anything? Or did they just kind of look at you and say, well, she's your girlfriend. That's your problem?
It was definitely the latter. They were just basically like, well, it's your girlfriend, your responsibility. You know, you really shouldn't have to be doing these things anyway. But of course they weren't going to help, but understandably, and they should not have had to.
And what is crazy to me is nobody say, Beck, what are you doing? Just stop. End it. Like, that's insane. Absolutely insane to me. Like, and then they never came forward to defend Beck. Instead, they just kept on running back to Amber. All right. Amber knows how to buy people. They were getting something out of Amber. Of course, I'm going to say shit. Man, with friends like that, you don't need any enemies.
The next question is, do you know or remember what exactly happened after the "is that my cereal" incident, when Amber Lynn approached you when you were sitting on the couch in the living room and said very kind of furiously, "What cereal is that?" And you covered for her by saying, "What's that over there?" And Amber Lynn stomped off.
If I made you worried, we got 6 people here. Why'd you guys? Huh?
Oh yeah, I do remember seeing this clip. I was like, damn, the food aggression is insane. But anyways, let's listen to what Beck has to say.
What is that over there?
Was there a follow-up to that? Were there ever moments where food aggression was very apparent with Amber Lynn?
I think we had recently discussed dieting and counting calories, and it was cereal that we had already had, and I didn't want it to go to waste, but I think it's because she was upset at the fact that we had talked about eating healthy and I was eating the Cocoa Puffs. But we all know that the diet was going to be over in a few hours anyway, because that's just how she was. So usually I would have been trying to take the diet seriously, but that day I just knew the diet wouldn't last, and I ate the Cocoa Puffs. As for the food aggression, I feel like she did have some food aggression, but I don't really have any specific examples because I feel like I was spared from that because we had very different tastes in food, and I just never really wanted to try what she had.
And honestly, with this one, I think Beck missed the gravity of it. It wasn't because you guys were on a diet. That was straight up food aggression. Like you said, you knew the diet was going to be over in an hour or two, and she knew that. She wanted to make sure that you were not eating her cereal or the cereal that she wanted to eat once she stopped pretending that she was on a diet. I think she missed the mark on that. And I'm sorry I just caught myself, but I meant they missed the mark on that. But I did not pick up on that part. Yes, that was food aggression.
Could you tell us in your words what exactly happened with the Jonesy rings that you used to propose to Amber in the infamous video and the screenshots that followed along in what the community refers to as Ringgate?
So I did try to sell them on a Facebook marketplace, but no one wanted them. So Amber did catch wind of it and she wanted them back. I don't know what she wanted them back for. I guess maybe to try to sell herself, but I don't know. I ended up giving her one of them back and I lost the other one by the time I'd gotten the other one to her.
Strawberry Shortcake asks, if Amber Lynn admitted to free bleeding, were you also expected during your time with Amber to clean up after all human bodily functions?
Ew. Ew. I'm sorry, Amber. You are nasty. You are nasty for not even listening to anybody to go to the gynecologist, my dude. You are nasty.
Yeah, I knew about the free bleeding and I did have to sometimes clean up after it, but that's all.
I'm sorry. That is nasty. That is absolutely nasty. Beck, you are a better person than me. You are a better person than me. There's no way in hell I will do that for a capable person. Fuck all that.
All I'll really say about that.
Anna Cottrell wants to ask if, and of course you don't have to disclose the answer to this, are there things that you are taking to the grave, so to speak, when it comes to Amber Lynn? Are there certain details or events that happened that no matter how juicy the drama or the ability for you to profit or get clout off of it or anything of the sort. Are there things that happened in your relationship with Amber Lynn that you plan on never disclosing to the world?
I mean, at the rate that MB keeps on going on and on and on and on, of course it's Beck's fault. If she doesn't stop that shit, Beck, tell us everything, my dear. Tell us everything. Ugh.
Yes, there are some things that I do keep to myself just because they are embarrassing and wouldn't be very kind to share with the world. And though Amber has called me a liar and money hungry and has tried to embarrass me, my goal has never been to do those things to her. I only wanted to tell my story and to help her see that she needs to take some accountability.
Nice of you, Beck. Nice of you. Now listen up, my Wednesday Adams. I need you to keep on poking it back. Keep on poking, because we need to know everything. We need to know everything. It's up to you. It's up to you, MB.
Isabel Schumacher asks, during the transition between your season and Jade's season 5, was Jade kind to you? Did Jade kind of make the overlap in the relationship as easy and not awkward as possible? Did it kind of turn into Amber Lynn wanting you out of there and Jade in? Was it sort of like a 2 versus 1 situation, or did Jade remain neutral?
She was kind to my face, but I did find out later on from Eric and Ricky that she would talk about me behind my back. She didn't.
Ooh, I believe that. But Jade did not have any allegiances with Beck. But what I'm disappointed in is Eric and Ricky choosing Amber over Beck. Fuck the money. Yeah, those two do not trust at all.
Make it any easier or harder because I was already halfway out the door whenever she moved in.
Lori asks, was there ever an incident or a period of time where you considered calling a mobile crisis team or initiating a 5150 for Amber, maybe staging an intervention with people that were in her social circle? Did that ever strike your mind as something that might be a good idea?
So I did not realize that you could do something like that, but I think if that were to have happened, she just would have cut everybody off and came back not changing a thing.
The mattress and litter box that you recently told us about being covered in piss and shit that no one was attending to regarding the pets that you came across.
You guys, this is so gross. Do you think because she does have a spare bedroom where she lives at in Oklahoma now, do you guys think she's doing the same thing that she did in Tennessee or Kentucky, whatever, with that second bedroom, that she's incapable of keeping up with the pet's demand, and that spare bedroom has become the litter box? Do you guys think that? Because I am starting to believe so. Because if she actually walked Twinkie like she says, I honestly do believe that she would have vlogged that. She would vlog that.
Were you responsible for cleaning all of that up and throwing away the mattress? Were there times where you were throwing away mattresses or things that normally, if they were given ordinary maintenance, you would just kind of throw them away because they were beyond repair, or it was better to just buy a new one instead of clean it?
I was the one who eventually cleaned up the litter boxes. Some people may think that was the first sign to turn around and run, and I should have, but I felt bad for her. At the time, I thought she just needed help, and that was something that Amber could just physically not do, but that's not an excuse to put your animals through that. The bed was beyond saving, and Amber didn't know what to do with it, so she ended up just leaving it behind, which is unfair to the people who owned that apartment and had to dispose of it. The only other mattress that we had to get rid of was the one that we slept on for years, and we ended up burning it before we moved to Lexington.
Yeah, but yeah, you guys, yikes on bikes. Holy crap. That was a lot. And I did cut out a couple of the questions out. And I'll be linking Beck's channel in the description if you want to see the whole questionnaire and answer from my channel. Those are the parts I wanted to touch on, but yikes on bikes. But yeah, you guys, that's ew. That's gross. That is gross. It's a lot to digest. But that's all I got for now from Miss Bags all day from Beck. But I will catch you guys in the next video. There are memberships on the channel from $2.99 to $3.99. But other than that, that is all I got. I will catch you guys in the next video. Later. Bye-bye.